let me finish.
Okay, well, I thought I had, but go ahead.
Okay, y'all, let's take turns and let each other finish.
Welcome to Let Me Finish, the podcast where three minds give their unfiltered and sometimes unpopular opinions on all the craziness going on in our lives and in this world. We're your hosts, Jillian,
Janice.
And Michael.
Settle in and let's take a deep dive.
Welcome back to another episode of Let Me Finish. I'm your host, Janice.
I'm Jillian.
So we're just going to dive right in on this lovely day. I want to say, first of all, we've been having really, really good weather. We had really great weather this last weekend. So,
yes.
And it's continued on to today. So fingers crossed.
Yeah.
But yeah, so how was your week, Jill?
Well, I had a great week because I didn't have to be at work last week.
Oh, yeah. I did.
So I literally just caught up on sleep. I caught up on some books that I was reading. And then also I watched a Netflix series that everyone's been talking about, but I decided to go ahead and dive in. And it's only 4 episodes.
What's it called?
It's called Adolescence. And
Netflix?
On Netflix. Oh. I say everyone should watch it, but especially if you're raising young boys, please go and watch this because it is crazy. So just the premise of this is that anyone who's seen the previews is that this little boy, 13, 14 years old, has been arrested for murder of a classmate. And
what?
So for these 4 episodes, you're getting into trying to figure out,
did he do it?
Well, it's not after the first episode, you know he did it for sure. So it's not a did he or didn't he do it? It's really what led him to this. And now Janice knows me that I'm a huge feminist, and
yes,
really when it comes
the audience knows that too.
When it comes to women's rights and equality, I'm very much for that. I'm very immersed in that.
She's a little biased. I
don't think I'm biased. I think honestly, I'm seeing the world for what it is and being marginalized.
We've always been, yeah.
Yeah. I'm very concerned with the direction things are going, and it delves into misogyny. How do you get to that point where, and I just read a book that actually delves into the nuance of the manosphere and how men get to that point. It really just start with in adolescence and goes from there and trying to get in.
Just kidding.
There's many, like the book I read, it was a great book and I loved it. And, just piggybacking on reading that and then watching the show, and I'm just like, wow, me personally, not being a mother, I don't think I could raise, or if I did raise a little boy, I don't know how I would be able to navigate that in this day and age. And honestly, I think comes down to it, you have to be very vigilant when you come. I know when we're raising our children, we tend to be more vigilant when it comes to our daughters as far as protecting them from the world, where I think boys are allowed to allowed to roam free in a sense, because you know that the world is dangerous for little girls out there. But I think also, so we tend to maybe not be as vigilant with our little boys and be on top of what they're doing. And I think that's what happened with this little boy. He didn't live up to his father's expectation of what a little boy was. He had different interests, and I think he became lost because he couldn't really connect. And in turn, he kind of fell into this manosphere wormhole and got lost. And unfortunately, it had dire consequences for a young girl in this situation. So just seeing the emotion and seeing it from different perspective, from the little boys, from the parents, the detectives working the case. Do you
end up empathizing or sympathizing with him?
To a certain point.
How old is the boy? 14?
14.
Okay. 13,
14, right around that age. Is I wouldn't say preteen, but like early teens. I think it's something that we all should watch, because I think with today's political climate, and like I said, I just read a book. It's called Men Who Hate Women, and delving into the misogyny and the manosphere and incels and all that stuff.
Oh.
And you're realizing that this stuff can lead to dangerous situation for women. So we have to be hyper vigilant about stuff like that.
So actually, like, I was listening to the radio, and it was K104, Dee Dee. And she was talking about, it was like some statistic they were saying that like boys raised by like women are like way more empathetic and like just not as, I don't know, it was something like maybe not as violent or didn't have violent crimes as opposed to like, but basically it made it seem like being raised by a woman or a single mom is almost like a positive thing at this point.
Yeah, I do think so.
But
I think when it comes
not,
to
two-parent homes are
I think
preferable.
when it comes to women raising little boys, I think, yes, they are allowed to. Now, this is not all mothers. Some mothers really do tamp down and don't want to see that in their sons because they are indoctrinated into the patriarchy and unfortunately are practicing things that perpetuate that whole system. But I think a lot of mothers do want their sons to be able to express themselves. And, you know, if you're sad, you want to cry and be able to feel safe to be able to express those emotions. I think with little boys or men in general, I think there's only really, other than joy, is violence or anger. Not violence, anger are the only two emotions that
what do you
that
think
men
about
are
that?
able to.
Because, okay.
Do we really want?
I feel like I'm a bit, I have like double standards, I think, on that. Yeah. I it's not that I don't like men to be emotional. But I'm also not a super like soft emotional person. I'm like nice, right? And, you know, caring, but I'm not also the person that's going to be like break down crying or like shut down or not know how to like, cause I'm more of a like deal with it type of person.
Like you've never like.
I'm not a big crier. Like even through everything I just went through. I mean, I think I cried like two times, 3 times. And I think 2 of the times y'all saw me cry.
Yeah.
And that was mostly because after the surgery, I was just so miserable. I was just like so uncomfortable. And that's why I was crying. And then the other time was I cried right when he told me the news. I mean, that's what I'm saying. I get like, even then, like a lot of people probably would have broke down crying a lot more. And I don't know. I'm just not a big crier. I never have been.
Right.
So I guess when I see, I mean, of course there weren't times where you should cry. Like if somebody passes away, yeah, cry. Like if it's somebody close to you, especially cry. Yeah. But don't just cry because we get in an argument. Like don't get like overly emotional while we're having an argument or something.
I'm not,
and like
that's not what I'm saying. You know, but I think even as little boys, when little boys, maybe something happens and maybe let's say they are playing football and they lose and they cry. A lot of boys are told, oh, toughen up. Why are you crying? Toughen up. Be a man up.
See, but I wouldn't say toughen up, man up. I'd be like, you just need to learn how to lose. You don't, it's not, you don't need to cry.
But you can be.
Because I would tell a little girl the same thing. Like, why are you crying? Like, somebody has to lose. You lost today. Like, learn how. So that's why I'm saying, like, but the message of why you shouldn't cry is, yes, absolutely. But do I think that you need to be crying? Like, if a little girl started crying because they lost a basketball game, like, okay, get emotional, like, but suck it up. Like somebody has to lose. Like,
so that's
I don't know, but I'm also different in that sense. A lot of people would be like, it's fine. They're emotional. They lost the game. They're passionate. So I think to each their own, but I get what you're saying. Don't get me wrong. I do think that I agree with you. I think when it comes to little boys and little girls, we're way more vigilant in our protection of little girls. But I think that's also because of the history. I mean, there's been like women are usually the victims of things that are like violent and things like that.
And what I'm saying, because this world is more dangerous for little girls. I'm not saying that there's no dangers for little boys. There are dangers. There is just this, the statistics points to, where it's, I believe the statistic is 1 in 6 little boys can be a victim of sexual assault, when it's 1 in 4. So just imagine walking around the world with other women that 25% of women have been a victim of some kind of sexual assault. Yeah. 1 in 4. That is not, so when we are with our group of friends, someone has experienced, and they're just countless women. I've had my own experiences for not a sexual assault, but I've been sexually harassed before.
I've been sexually, I would say it was assault.
Yeah. See? And so
it was college though.
Yeah. And so we all have that story. Yeah. And it's just like, okay, so that just shows you this world isn't, and as women, we move through the world in a different way, in the fact that, something as simple as being at my apartment and being in the parking garage. Mm-hmm. Something as simple as walking from my car to
that's why I want
to my doorstep.
That's why
there is that thought in my head is that I have to make these extra steps to secure my safety.
Yeah, you have to look. Yeah, definitely. That's why a big part I'm looking for a new apartment. And one of my deal breakers is I just want an attached garage. I don't want to get in and out of my car and not feel safe. Mm-hmm. And I just know that feeling, and I just don't like it.
Yeah. And so that's just something that women automatically think about. But for a man, that probably doesn't even enter their thoughts.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Imagine being able to go through the world where, if you see, something as simple as when you stop to go get gas. Am I stopping and getting gas at night? Probably not.
It's so funny because I've never thought, I don't know. I wouldn't say never, but I've never but it's rare where I'm always like, oh, should I get gas? And I've been on the phone so many times where I'm like, I'm about to get gas. And then I'm on the phone with somebody and they're like, what do you mean you're going to go get gas? It's so late. You just used to wait. And I'm like, why? I don't even think about that.
I do.
I should. And I think if I was in a more rural area, if it was super not rural, country, and like nobody's around, and I don't even can see. There's no barely any lights. I don't know who's inside. But
you would think about it.
I would think twice about that because I don't know the area as well. Mm-hmm. But when I'm in a familiar area, I definitely, because I've stopped and gotten gas so late.
I don't
before and I probably shouldn't have, to be fair, but I have, and I've definitely gotten scolded by friends. What do you mean? Just wait.
I don't, simply for the fact is that I don't want to risk it. I don't. You know what? I'll get it tomorrow morning.
and it's probably true. I should probably really adopt more of that because I mean, even so. Talk a little bit about my week. So one of the things that happened is I got some new furniture, so I was getting rid and I was selling this TV stand. Mm-hmm. And it was a man who ended up coming to get it. Mm-hmm. And I couldn't tell if it was a man or a woman. I didn't ask, right? Mm-hmm. It ended up being a man. So I definitely was like, okay, Jillian, will you stay on FaceTime with me? Mm-hmm. Just in case. And I made sure he knew I was on FaceTime with somebody. Yeah. So it's those kind of things where you just have to double check.
Yeah.
And it's just even so, I will even say that next night I was like, wouldn't it be really what he could just pop up. You don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Technically, I still don't know. He does know where I live now. So, I mean, I definitely try to be oh, my roommate's not here to help you take it downstairs. But that's the best I could do.
Yeah.
But But even having to think about that stuff as women, we do that. So,
yeah.
But that's interesting. I'm definitely gonna. I definitely feel like I want to check that documentary. Is it a documentary or is it a show?
It's a show. It's a limited series with now. I will have to say, Netflix. Like I said, Adolescence was just beautiful, well done. It definitely made me think, and like I said, piggybacking because I was reading that book at the same time. I'm just like, oh, okay. it kind of solidified what I was reading in my book. I'm like, oh, okay, so other people are examining this topic. But then it turns around, there's like the new Chris Pratt and Millie Bobby Brown movie that's on Netflix. I watched it. It was garbage. Don't waste your time.
What was it? It's like an action movie or funny?
Something to do with like robots and some shit. When I tell you,
well, there you go. I'm out right there. Robot.
When I tell you, it was
Trash.
a hot pile of garbage. I'm like, and I'm like, how much y'all spent? How much money did y'all spend on this? Because whatever it is, y'all need to go ahead and get your refund, because Netflix steady increases the monthly fee. Julie, and this is the crap you're gonna.
It's something for everybody.
No, girl, this ain't for nobody.
I like Justin to Kelly, so from Justin to Kelly, I like that movie.
Oh my God,
So,
Justin to Kelly.
what are you gonna do?
Oh my!
I bought it, so
it's called. I'm sorry. The name of the movie was called Electric State, and I was just like, taken from me. And I'm not super critical.
You didn't like Kind of Pregnant. Kind of Pregnant was so funny.
I never saw Kind of Pregnant.
Oh, you didn't want to because you said you like Amy Schumer.
I don't like Amy Schumer.
It was funny. You need to watch it. It's so
For
funny.
movies I watch, like, especially I do. You know, I love action movies. I do. I love action movies. And you're talking about a girl who devours Fast and Furious and loves that shit. It doesn't have to be highbrow cinema.
Yeah, but Fast and Furious is like a household name now. Like, it didn't start off like that. You ended up loving it after, like, you loved it
I don't
prior to that. Like, it was like a really good franchise. It started off great. It just got kind of crazy towards like
and
5.
I still loved it. And I still
because you were already
loved
invested in the characters.
Ugh.
But
Jeez,
anyways,
no.
Anyways,
It's garbage.
Anyways, so maybe it's garbage. So y'all check it out. Tell us what you think.
No, do not waste your time.
Jillian saying literally, don't give him no money for that stream.
Nothing. Don't waste your time.
Well, okay. So for my week, was that pretty much your week, or?
Yeah, that was my week.
So yeah, so I didn't have a lot going. I mean, I guess I sold that furniture, but that's just a throwaway story. But I did go and work out. I went to Carrie's Pilates, I think is what it's called. It's called Claire's Pilates, and it's a Pilates place in West Plano, and they also have a place in Dallas. But I went to the one in West Plano. It's real close to where I live, so it was nice and easy, and I loved it. It was 45-minute class, so I felt like it went really fast. They played really good music.
Oh, good.
And I thought and I've been doing Pilates. I did reformer Pilates. This is transformer Pilates, so the machine's a little different, and it's not so much machine based. You use the machine, but the other Pilates class I went to is like pretty much everything you did was on the machine. This is like the machine assists you more so. I don't know how to describe it, but I told Jillian and Stacy they need to come with me because I like it. So I think what I'm gonna do, I don't know if I'm ready yet, but I'm gonna do Carrie's, and then I'm also gonna do Club Pilates. I'm probably gonna do both and just switch it up, I think. Yeah,
that's a good idea.
Because I like both of the types of workouts. So I was like, okay. So yeah, I went and did that, and then I also, because I want to I'm looking for a new apartment. I'm very particular. I think all of us are very particular when it comes to places we live. So I went and looked at quite a few apartments. I saw like one I really like, but I'm not moving until June, so I have plenty of time. So I'm not rushing. Of course, they were trying to rush me to do that. What's it called? They tried to rush me to do the
see and lease or something.
Yeah, they wanted
sign.
Sign and lease no. I forget what it's called, but I know. Look and lease.
Oh, okay.
That's
there
what
go.
it's called. I was like, I used to work at apartments. You think I would know. But yeah, so I did that. And so I actually have an apartment finder. He's going to find me apartments. So I'm going to try that route because it's just so difficult trying to find places that because I very much, like I said, I need the attached garage. That's a must. They're trying to convince me not to get an attached garage, but I just like how comfortable you and You and Stacey.
No, I said that.
You said get what I want.
Get what
but
you
yeah,
want.
So I just even speaking about that because I was considering it, but now speaking about it, I'm like, yeah, that's exactly why I like the attached garage. I don't like having to I don't like having to be in the elements and like have those moments where somebody could grab me.
Yeah.
Like even if I decide to stay out super late and come home at like 3 a.m, I want to feel safe.
Yeah.
Even though I guess technically I'll Uber, so that's probably I'm drinking. But anyways.
Yeah.
But anyway, so yeah, that was pretty much my week. So nothing too crazy. I mean, I think I had a pretty chock full weekend, but yeah.
Yeah. That's a good,
Some online shopping. Yeah. Been watching One Tree Hill. Old school show.
Comfort rewatch.
Comfort rewatch. I do that a lot. So I try to watch this one show on HBO Max. It was about the Plantsville girl who tried to convince her boyfriend. I think we did a podcast about it, I think.
Or was it?
Yeah, it's like Plantsville or they have a show on Hulu, which is like literally the court case, but it's basically
is that with the Fanning girl, Ellie, or Elle Fanning?
Elle Fanning's the one who plays the girl, yes. And so it's just about a girl who was dating a boy. They were long distance, and he had a lot of mental health and had talked about taking his life. And she basically like they egged him on or didn't discourage it. And I mean, from things she said, she was definitely encouraging it. I mean, it's very hard to say if I feel like she should have gone to prison for it, but it's words. But then words are, I don't know. It's hard to say.
Yeah,
because she didn't push him in the car, you know what I mean? She didn't, but she definitely did not discourage it. She definitely, in fact, at one point he got back, because he ended up passing away because he stayed in a car while the fumes and stuff. So at one point he had got out the car and she convinced him to get back inside. So
oh my gosh,
there was that. That's pretty strong. Like yeah. I think me and Michael might have did that podcast. Speaking of Michael, guys, update on him. He's doing much better, so he's excited to come back soon, but he's still healing up, but he's definitely on the mend now. So
yeah, I'm so happy.
Yeah. Got good news from him today.
I've been worrying about him for a while.
Yeah. So we all have, I mean, but he sounds like to be in good spirits, so I'm happy for him.
Yes, absolutely. I'm good.
All right. So today we're gonna get into the topic because we're gonna talk about, well, it's really about Justin Bieber, Hailey Bieber, and Selena Gomez and that love triangle that is. But it's really ultimately about like, I feel like it's like knowing when to walk away because that's what Selena did, but also like on Hailey's side, like just this obsessive nature that she had towards Justin
and Selena,
and I'm just like, it's almost like a self-worth thing. I'm like, I don't know, and that's the thing, I don't know how much of the relationship he actually was super into. From what I see, he just seems very, like, I don't know, he comes and goes. Like sometimes he seems like really happy with her in other moments, but maybe that's part of his sickness.
So just how we came up with why we decided to do this this particular topic is because usually I'm on TikTok. I live on there. So recently there has been like a 6 or 7 part series on TikTok, which I think originated on YouTube, but someone has uploaded it to TikTok or vice versa. I don't know. I watched the 7 part series on TikTok where they were kind of chronicling the relationship. So Justin with Selena, then Hailey, and like Hailey's supposed obsession with both Justin and with Selena.
They think she's obsessed with Selena?
Yes. Now, there's a couple things. So when they were going through and like discussing like, okay, she did this, she did that. So they were saying that, you know, every time she posted a certain picture or certain clothes, all of a sudden she would show up in the same exact thing, or she would certain posts that she would do on social media. They were like, okay, that looks a lot like Selena, how she did that, how she posted that. And I was just like, okay, but at the end of the day, they're in Hollywood. They run in the same circles. I think they're just influenced by the same people. I don't think, every once in a while,
I think people are looking for her to do,
exactly.
It's just like they're looking for something.
Yeah.
Because you got to think people in Hollywood mimic each other all the time. But who's actually paying attention to who did it for? I mean, and it happens all the time in Hollywood. Who wore it best?
Yeah.
Yeah, it happens all the time.
It happens all the time. So that part, I was just like, when it comes to the clothes and the posing, I'm like, there's just so many poses that you can do. You can be inspired by someone else and do that. And so for that, I'm not.
Imitation is the biggest form of flattery.
And so for that, I'm just like, okay, and then our cousin Stacy, we were talking and she's like, oh, also, of course, Selena has her Rare Beauty line. And then not long after, Hailey started Road Beauty as well. I'm just like, okay, Rare Beauty clearly is the bigger one, has made Selena a billionaire because it's been so popular. But
I've never even heard of Road Beauty.
Okay, it's out there. So I'm just like, okay, so maybe you're getting a little bit closer where, okay, maybe she is obsessed with her. But the part that threw me completely off, and I was just like, okay, now there has to be something there, is that Selena got a small cursive G behind her ear, tattooed up behind her ear. And 11 days later, Hailey had the same exact tattoo behind her ear.
Why G?
She said it was for some kind of relative. I'm not sure why.
Hailey got the same tattoo as Selena Gomez.
Yes, so similar. It was a cursive G as well, but maybe just a tad bit different. But for it to be both G's, both like cursive G's, lowercase or lowercase G's,
that is weird.
Behind the ear, of all the places you can put it, you got it. Like I said, and it's not like it was anything else.
And then you told everybody about it too.
It's like 11 days later, she had this tattoo. And I was just like, okay, so that is
Did she go
freaky.
get the tattoo, or did people notice the tattoo?
She went and got the tattoo.
Oh, so they were like, she just got this tattoo.
She just got that tattoo.
Okay.
So, and it wasn't, like I said, it was like 10 or 11 days after Selena got her tattoo.
I will say.
That is just like, okay, that is too freaky. And then also the other thing was another tattoo was that Selena, when her and Justin were together, she had a ring on her ring finger. It was a small, it was a J, cursive J in diamonds, ring that she would wear on her ring finger. And Hailey got a tattoo that looked exactly how that J looked like on that ring as well. And I'm just like,
I don't know if she's so much obsessed with Selena herself. She's probably more obsessed with the woman that Justin loves.
you think so?
Well, okay, so, and I feel like for me, Hailey Bieber gets a very bad rap. Like, because I'm like, I don't know the relationship, right? It's either she was so obsessed with him and liked him so much that she could just never let go of this relationship, or this man gaslights the fuck out of her. It's like either you make her feel like she's the most special person in the world in moments, and then you rip it from her in the next. I don't know, because she does love the crap out of that man.
She does. I've never doubted that. And it's almost like the way it's been portrayed on social media is that, are you really in love with him, or you're just in competition with Selena? And she had him.
I think she's just in love with him.
You think so? Okay.
Yeah, I mean, weren't most girls super obsessed with Justin Bieber?
Yes.
I mean,
He's very popular.
wasn't most girls around their age hoping that one day they get to marry Justin Bieber? Like, so I maybe there was an obsession, but I think the obsession started before Selena, and more than likely it's not so much Selena herself. It's probably like trying to mimic this version of him that he had, that Selena had. So maybe the closer and closer I am to that type of person, the more you'll love me. And it could be a subconscious thing.
Honestly, I think you may be onto something. Like, I feel like Selena, not saying that he treated Selena decent. I mean, they were on and off for 10 years.
Exactly. Like, it wasn't
like, and honestly, I mean, part of the reasons why they broke up was, you know, they had trust issues and infidelity. In their relationship. So for me,
that's just the one we know about. I'm sure there's plenty others.
So for me, I feel like, okay, well, do you feel like this is maybe Selena was his dream girl and maybe who he gravitated to, and there's maybe a piece of him that still loves her, and just maybe at the time he was immature, which they did point out in an interview where he did state that, hey, I thought maybe marriage was a mistake for him, where he said that, hey, I thought that getting married, it would fix a lot of my problems, and I realized it didn't. And I think that's just a maturity thing. You're thinking, hey, getting into this certain situation, this is the next step, this is what adults do. Well, you're feeling like, okay, this will fix everything, and him maturing like, hey, no, it's not. I have stuff I have to work on myself.
I think he but I think for Justin, I think he has a lot of demons he hasn't worked through. I think he has, I don't know what happened to him, but I can, just like we're talking about young men and boys, I think the same thing can be said about the industry, where it's like the women are like, it's, people know it happens. People almost are prepared for that. People are always on guard for something like that. When it's a man, it's so not the same thing, and it's nowhere near as, you know, visual. Like, even I think you were just telling me about Brendan Fraser. I had no idea why Brendan Fraser stopped acting. I had no idea.
You didn't know that?
It was because he
was
claimed some sexual assault claim or sexual harassment against a male producer or director of some sort. So I had no idea, and it's because those kind of things are not just, they're not in the headlines like that. And so same thing I would feel like with Justin Bieber, because let's be real, Justin Bieber had a connection to Usher, who had a connection to Diddy. So who knows, honey?
True.
Who knows?
True. Here's the thing. I think maybe that's why him and Selena maybe had such a great connection, because I think maybe their shared experiences being child stars.
Yeah, so many child stars around that time, though. Huh? There were so many of them around that time.
I'm not saying that there weren't a lot, but I said maybe how they were able to connect with each other was that shared experience of being child stars, and then thus, hey, you're going through the same thing that I'm going through, and maybe you're able to sound off. You can be a sounding board for me. I can be a sounding, and I completely understand what you're going through. I mean, it's almost like trauma bonding. Like, if you've been through a lot, but you have someone else who says, okay, girl, you're not tripping over this. What you're feeling is 100% valid.
Sure,
there has to be.
But I'm pretty sure, but for me, I'm like, I feel like people in that time, or Hollywood in that age, they all probably.
Yeah, but I'm not saying that. But when you're on a romantic relationship, sometimes having that connection, or have that similar background, it helps. I'm not saying it's going to make the relationship last, but maybe that's what made them keep going back. Maybe keep going back. Maybe how they kindled.
They probably shared a lot of private things with each other. Like, that probably, nobody knows. For me, the relationship was, I thought they were really cute. They seemed very in love. I felt like when they started breaking up, that was kind of like, okay, that needs to probably just be over. I mean, because it happens, like you date somebody when you're younger, you're super in love, it's your first love, but at the end of the day, as you get older, and then let's be real, Justin is a bigger star than Selena at the time. So I can't imagine it wouldn't have ended any differently than it did. I mean, the relationship, became a joke towards the end. It was like, there him again.
Yeah. And I think that's the part when it comes to
and I think she left him because it was just embarrassing for her at that point to be with him still.
Yeah. And I think with Hailey, the part when they've gone through the series, I was just like, I feel like just how quickly the relationship progressed, I'm just like, that's weird.
So that's where I'm like, because we don't really know the full story. We don't know as much as in the public eye, we see that he was not in communication with Hailey for 2 years because he was still back with Selena. We don't know.
I mean, I'm sure he wasn't completely cutting her off.
Because just like the whole thing is saying like, oh, she didn't interfere with Selena in his relationship and she wasn't around for that part. I'm like, but here's the thing. You break up in March and you're married by July. Stop it.
Yeah, it was
Stop it. Stop it.
I don't even think it was 6 months before they got married.
Yeah, stop it. Get out of here. April, May, June, July, August. You guys got married 4 months later in July. 4 months.
Yeah.
After ending a 10-year off and on relationship. But mind you, during the 10 years of their off and on relationship, Hailey was the other on and off.
I mean, it
just wasn't as public.
The first time that they were dating, it was casual. I don't even think they were exclusive.
But I've been a girl who's like, oh, it's nothing serious. Oh, well, we're not committed. Knowing good and dang well, I was halfway in love with that man. So there you go.
Yeah. I mean, I guess so. Just
and
to
that age, that young.
Yeah.
Girl.
So just to break down, I guess they had like a casual relationship in January of 2016. Then they dated for
because they posted a picture
months.
of them kissing, and then she defended it by saying it's not exclusive. But again, I think that was more so to save face for the Selena relationship he also was on and off of.
Yeah. Maybe just be like,
and I'm pretty sure Selena fans were giving her hell.
Probably.
So
yeah, because I think so. Just to break down their timeline, so January 2016, they made their pairing official.
This is Hailey.
Through that, this is Hailey. They end up breaking up in August of that same year, and
you mean the casual thing they broke up? Mm-hmm. Huh. Well, how's it casual if it's broken up? Why are we breaking up? We ain't exclusive. Well, what's it a break?
Meaning, I guess they stopped seeing each other altogether.
But that's my whole point. Like, the timeline is so tricky. You can keep going with the timeline, but
yeah, I'm just saying when they broke up in August, they supposedly they lost touch for like 2 years, which we're gonna put
allegedly.
So we don't know. Lost touch. I don't know how.
Trust me, girl. Even if
Hollywood.
I'm not with a man for 2 years, if you see me talking to him 2 years later, I probably had some type of communication with the man before then.
Okay.
I don't know.
You don't believe it?
If I go 2 years without speaking to somebody, I'm pretty much, you're dead to me.
Yeah. So honestly, if we're gonna put a pin in that.
I certainly wouldn't start dating you again and get married 2 months later, 3 months later.
Okay, so let's put a pin in that. So supposedly we're gonna put that in quotations, as in we're not 100% believing.
Yeah, this whole casual thing.
We're not
16. They were together, honey.
We're not 100% believing that when they broke up that there was no contact for those 2 years. But once they broke up for 2 years, supposedly, they had like some kind of church conference. I guess they went to the same church.
Yeah, I think he got super religious around.
Yeah, he did get super religious I think he was into Hillsong Church, which is kind of weird because they have their own controversial.
I think he was just trying to find
thing going on,
something to believe in.
Yeah, I think he was lost during that time. Yeah, for sure.
Justin went through it's not lost on me that during this time of him seeming lost is when Hailey was around. So
yeah. So and I believe whenever him and Selena reconnected, I believe January of. Hold on. Trying to remember with Hailey and with Justin and Selena, they officially like broke up and never got back together in March of 2018. And then supposedly
and then July,
and then in June of 2018 him and Hailey got together. And by
July.
and then no, June. It says
They got married in June or rekindled in June?
they rekindled their relationship in June.
and had a secret ceremony in July.
They had a secret ceremony. They got married in a civil ceremony in New York courthouse in September 2018.
September. Okay.
September 2018.
In 2019,
and then they had like their big like formal wedding the following year in September.
May, June, July, August. So 5 months. So hey, I mean, if you're with a woman, because you're with a woman for 10 years. Seems like the love of your life.
That's pretty big because I feel like
and then you break up with her and then you get back with you're in between, because that's what she was. She was the in between thing. And I don't know. I hate to belittle their relationship. I do try. To be fair, let me just say I was 100% shocked when I saw them get married. I was like, what? I knew they had like messed around, but I didn't know it was that serious. I was shocked. But then everything that I read was like, oh, they been had an on and off relationship. They've been. I was like, since when?
Yeah.
When was he not with Selena?
Because like I said, with the timeline, like you said, he had
some overlay. Honey.
Yeah,
you can't tell me that he didn't cheat on one of them with the other.
Yeah,
you can't tell me that.
Yeah, because for them
pretty sure he's not above it.
For him to officially break up with Selena in March of 2018, and then rekindle his relationship with Hailey in June of 2018. That's only 3 months. You remember the episode of Sex and the City with Charlotte, and she was talking about the rules of how long to wait in between relationships, how long you're supposed to get over. What was the
it was half the time. It takes half the time you were dating them to get over them. So if they were 10 years, it was technically they should be 5 years. Should be so shit.
Or is it 1 month for every?
No, she said it was half the time because she told Carrie she should be over big within 6 months. By 6 months.
Oh, I'm gonna look that up. Hold on.
Oh my god, you gonna look it up right now?
Yes, I'm gonna have to pull it up because I don't think thought she said 1 month for. Or if it's I think if you only dated a couple months, you're supposed to be half the time that you were together. But if it's years, I think it's 1 month for every year you're together.
I mean, shit, that's longer.
Charlotte.
1 month for every, that's 10 months instead of 6.
Charlotte.
So, I mean, ultimately, the whole point of this is basically, so for me, it's who do we think won? I don't think
Selena.
She won.
No.
Selena won.
At the end of the day,
Selena won.
Selena, yes, you're
she
right.
Won.
You know what? She did win.
She won
because
she a billionaire. She got this new man who loved her dirty draws. Okay, and yeah, she won.
She won.
And Justin probably been cheating on Hailey.
Yeah, and so with Benny Blanco, I did not know this. Like he's like a
shocking
big time producer. Like he be producing hits after hit after hit.
I like, literally
your favorite singer has probably been produced by her fiance.
Wild, because I'm just like, I will say, yeah, he big, but I was like, okay, girl, personality goes a long way.
Denise,
am I wrong?
Looks wise, yes, but you know what?
It is his personality.
We talked about this before, and I was telling you about the black cat golden retriever relationship dynamic.
Oh, and but I don't know. She seems like a golden retriever too.
Selena in the Benny
relationship.
What's it? Is that her?
Benny Blanco.
Benny Blanco and her relationship. She's a black cat. He's a golden retriever. And I think with Justin and Hailey, Justin is a black cat and
Hailey's definitely the golden retriever.
It's the golden retriever. And it does not and when it comes to relationship dynamics, it doesn't really work for women to be the golden retriever.
No. Never. Mm-hmm. Girl, bye. Dang, what was I gonna say? I was gonna say something about because that was the one time where I really was like, oh, he don't give a fuck about her. About Hailey. Girl, they were getting out the car. they showed us 2 scenes, and mind you, Selena's was when they were really young, just dating. So of course he was super sweet to her, opening the door, kissing her, loving on her throughout the whole entire event. Man, I saw another clip. Every single time that man get out the car, he just be slamming the door right in her face.
Okay,
Like
so
slamming the door in her face.
someone had shown
Like
us.
be forgetting that she's even with him. I'd be like, bro.
So
I was like, if there's that many videos of my man disrespecting me like that, we would have a problem. We could not be together. You can't keep disrespecting me out here in these streets like that.
yeah,
That's
so
crazy.
it's funny because you're talking about that, but someone had posted a video of Hailey and Justin in New York where he had jumped a barrier and jumped on his skateboard and kind of skated off, and I guess
Left her.
Hailey was trying to follow. She fell.
And she fell. I saw that, girl. It was like multiple clips, and one of the clips was when he was getting out the car, and he literally swung the door closed on her face. I was like, how you not know that the whole girl's behind you? Like, that's so mean.
You would think that, hey, you know, you're in the city
and you're a celebrity. People watching you. Treat your woman with a little more dignity. Damn. Like, I was like, ooh, Justin, you're horrible.
So that when I saw that video, I'm like, dang, he didn't even look behind to see if she was okay. I was just like, yeah, that part is not cool.
He just seems unfazed by her. But I don't know. And you know, they do have a baby now. So that could have changed things in his eyes. Maybe he sees her as the mother of his child. Maybe it'll be different.
Maybe. I honestly,
but I do think that Hailey, because for me, why I want to talk about this topic, because I'm like, Hailey she just kept going. She would not let this man go, and she got him. And
was it worth it?
Was it worth it? I don't know.
I don't think so.
I don't know. She got.
I don't think so. Because at the end of the day, I don't
hear her say anything bad about him though, so I don't know. I mean, they don't seem to have a bad relationship from her perspective. She seems quite content with it.
Yeah. Well, you know, what's the saying? If you like it, I love it.
Exactly. Like, girl, if you like it, I love it. And that's why I don't like to put down their relationship too much, because I'm like, that is his wife. That is who he decided to marry. That is who he has a child with. So I'm like, at the end of the day, I feel like if he really wanted to be with Selena Gomez, he would have attempted to be. I mean, maybe she just wouldn't take her back.
For 10 years, they attempted to be together. He didn't move quickly. I mean, first of all, can we talk about the fact that, let's just blow past the fact that they were young. I think towards the end they weren't that young. The fact that
he's still young. Isn't he like 29?
Justin Bieber?
Is he?
No, girl.
I thought he was a lot younger than me.
Let's pull up his
not.
age. Let's pull up his age.
What? I think Selena Gomez is only like 33. I think she's like a good couple years older than him. Let's see. Selena Gomez. No, Justin Bieber age, right?
Uh-huh.
Justin Bieber age. He's 31.
Okay.
So he's not that young.
So let me just say this.
They were young the whole time.
Let me say this.
Because he's been with Hailey since 18? That was 7 years ago. So that would have put him at
they did date when they were teenagers.
24.
Okay.
So 14 to 24 he was with Selena. He was like, you were still young.
Yeah. Okay.
And really didn't know yourself.
I'm gonna retract what I was gonna say. Forget it. I'm not gonna.
Because I was like, they were young the whole time.
And actually, Hailey young still, because she's 28.
Yeah, she seems young. Yeah.
Yeah, and Selena's 32.
Yep. See, they're still so young. Mm-hmm. Like in the grand scheme of things, for a relationship that ended 7 years ago, that would have that's crazy. He was 24.
Yeah.
When it ended.
Yeah.
And you were in a relationship on and off with just one girl. Yeah, that's a lot.
That's a lot. Yeah.
So that's why I'm saying ultimately I do think they were each other's first loves, but I don't. And I think I think Selena is just based off of the demons he had. I think he was he was starting to get really wild, just completely doing things that just out there in a way that Selena was not. Mm-hmm. She was always like the good girl. He's this bad boy, and he just kept getting worse and worse and worse. And I don't think that she was down for it. I think Hailey was like, shit, I'm down for my man. That's my man. That's my man. I'm gonna stick beside him.
Yeah.
That was Hailey.
So I think maybe some of the back and forth and the weirdness and the how they
For being children.
Yeah, how they, navigate their relationships. I think maybe we can just attest that to
Being
age
so young
and being immature. Now that they're either in their 30s or close to their 30s, and you've been married, you have a child together, that immaturity is not that's not an excuse anymore. And even now, like, sometimes I'm like,
they seem to be okay right now.
They seem to be okay now, but even a couple years ago, I think.
I mean, it was only a couple years ago you slamming doors in her face.
There's only one video where I'm like, ooh, this gives me the ick, was where she was, I guess there was some kind of event and they were in a skybox. I don't know if it was a sporting event, if it was a concert or whatever, where he was in a chair and she was behind him and he was like rubbing his shoulders and kind of like caressing him.
Oh, okay.
And he turned his head, said something to her, and she immediately moved her hands from his shoulder. And you can tell, like I said, I don't know what was said between him and her, where he continued talking to whoever he was talking to, and she kind of like
retreated in her shell.
Kind of retreated, and you can tell, okay, she looks a little bit hurt by whatever he said. Like I said, we don't know what they said, but we can all read body language and facial expressions.
And that's why I hope they're better now, especially for the sake of their son, because he just at moments you talk about all the time, he doesn't like her. He just doesn't like her. I was like, it kind of comes off that way for me sometimes with him and Hailey in the past. Like, you just don't like this girl. And
he did make a comment about it being, he felt like it was an arranged marriage.
What?
Yeah, he did mention that.
How you gonna see? That's where things are like. It just seems, because for me, being that as young as they were to get married, like, I mean, probably like 27, 26, maybe when he got married to her.
Yeah.
So why rush to get married so fast and then do it? It's like a civil ceremony. Like, what was the rush?
I don't know.
And so that's the part that now you kind of say that it does always make me you didn't seem like you liked her. You say things like it's arranged marriage. You slam doors in her face. Like, it's just, I don't know. It seems like, why did y'all get married?
Yeah. It's almost like,
maybe that's better now.
It's almost like he thought, hey, maybe this will fix things. And then for her, and for her, I think she's like, let me hurry up and lock him down. And
I do think that's why she married him
so he doesn't
fast.
Change his mind.
Yeah, because I think, I'm your wife now. You can't just go jump back with Selena now. Exactly. But I don't know. I think ultimately Selena just did not want him anymore. I think she was done. Because she came out with that song "Lose You to Love Me."
She did, and she just released a song, which was album, a couple days ago, with and it's actually produced by her Benny Blanco, her fiance, and one of the songs, somebody had posted like clippets of the song, and I can't remember the name of the song. I said "Never Be Me" or something like that, and I feel like those were shots at Hailey Bieber. I really do. I was just like, and one of the lines she goes, "You have the ring. Why are you still obsessed with me? You won." Along those lines,
but
I'm just
really,
like,
you didn't win nothing, girl. Who you win? Justin, girl. Justin was hot. Never say never. That was the time he was hot. Because you forget how young he was when he really came into the spotlight. He was so young.
So young.
He was like 12.
So young.
Like, that's when I think Never Say Never, he was like 13. He was really young.
Damn.
If not younger. So, and that's when I was like, oh, I like him. Yeah. So, makes you question things. But ultimately, I hope Selena is happy. Because I've always liked Selena. She seems like such a sweet girl. She's gone through a lot. like a lot. And she's come out the other side. I think, she had lupus. She has lupus. She was diagnosed with bipolar. She had to have a kidney transplant.
Mm-hmm.
Because of all that, she can't have children. So it's just like she's gone through a lot, and she seems like she's finally gotten her happy ending with Benny. So I'm happy for her.
Yeah.
With Justin and Hailey, I'm more like looking at them side eyes, like, what's this gonna be? I'm still a little iffy about them. Even though, again, does it really matter what I think? No.
Yeah.
But
let's just say when it comes to Justin and Hailey, if they broke up, I would have been like, oh, okay. They lasted longer than I thought they would.
Be like, I knew it. That's how people would be.
My first reaction is going to be, well, they lasted longer than I thought they would.
Yeah, and that's what I think. I think most people would be like, oh, let's collect on our bets type shit.
Oh my God.
You feel me? So
yeah.
But yeah, so I think that good for Selena. She walked away. She got herself. Because do you think that Justin would have stayed with her doing all that? I don't know how you would have been treating her. That was a lot she went through.
To be honest, when it comes to Justin and Selena, he wasn't a good boyfriend. So
yeah,
honestly,
he wasn't a good boyfriend to either one.
Yeah. So honestly, if you want to talk about somebody who won, Justin, because really, honestly, you should be by yourself.
Yeah,
you should be by yourself.
Justin.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I actually agree with that.
Because I feel like he should have maybe like between Hailey and Selena, really honestly, because of how quickly they moved, I think he would have benefited from taking time alone to be single.
That's probably a part of his problem.
Truly work through his own issues and be grounded, and working on being a better person. Because once he did that and was grounded in himself, he could have been a better partner.
Hopefully he's doing the work now. Hopefully he is, especially now that he's a dad.
Yes.
Because I do think he has work to be done. I think he has a lot of demons he needs to address. And God forbid, I hope nothing happened to him with Diddy, but I do think something did. So I really hope he gets the help he needs, especially now that he's a dad.
Yes.
And
it's so important.
Yeah. And for Hailey, girl, just
I know for Justin, because
hang in there, Hailey.
Because he comes from a single parent household. He was raised by a single mom. I think for him, it is going to be very important for him to make sure the relationship with Hailey is good. That way they can have that a strong household for their child. So
I mean, I just hope that, but they also shouldn't be in a relationship just because they feel like they need to be. They just need to work on, you know what I mean? Like, you can't be in the relationship just for the kid. But so what I hope for both of them is they do the work, and if they're happy, and if it's apart, great. If it's together, great. But I just, for the sake of their son now that they brought into this world, I hope they do the work.
Yeah. And it took them a while to have that baby. So I don't know if there was maybe fertility issues, but
did they say they were trying before?
I'll just know that all of a sudden she announced she was pregnant.
I mean, she's only 28, so
yeah. I don't know. Plenty of people have fertility issues. I don't know.
I mean, but that's what I'm saying. Why would you just assume she's having fertility issues?
No. I'm just saying. After they got married, they didn't jump right into having a baby.
Well, they got married at like 24, and
that's what I'm saying.
And she was what, 21?
Yeah, but usually.
It's young.
Yeah, I'm just saying it was young for them to even get married in the first place, and so at least they took the time to settle
be in the marriage
before they decided to add that extra stressor of having a child. So at least in that situation, they took time to consider that.
And it did seem like they were in a better place when I heard about the pregnancy.
Yeah,
he seems to be treating her much better. Mm-hmm. I will say that. Maybe, who knows? But yeah, good on all of them. But this is just wrapping up. This is the love triangle that we've all been talking about for the last decade plus. So I'm pretty sure and the sad part is it'll probably always be compared to them. Like, I think it'll always be this connection.
Those two couples will always compare to each other who has a better relationship. Yeah, for sure.
Benny and Selena. So. I like Benny. He seems like a good guy, so good for her. But anyways, guys, so that's really just our topic on Justin and the love triangle that is Selena and Hailey and him. So let us know your thoughts. We'd love to hear your thoughts on it.
I hope the best for all four of them.
Me too. I mean, honestly, yes, especially. And I actually do really hope that Justin finds peace. what if he is going through a lot of, tumultuous times. I hope he finds peace because he started so
been through
young.
so much. He's been through a lot.
Yeah, all of them have really, except for Hailey. She hasn't been through nothing. She aight.
She'll be fine.
She'll be fine. All right, guys, we're gonna get out of here. We'll talk to you guys later. Bye.
Bye.
And that's a wrap on the latest episode of Let Me Finish. Thank you guys for joining us for another week and listening to the latest episode. Don't forget, go like, share, and subscribe on your favorite platforms. And you guys can also follow us and see us on different platforms. I am on Instagram, and that's going to be Uniquely Janice. And then I'll also be on TikTok, Janice H, GENICEH. Michael, where can they find you?
I'm only on Instagram, and it's Kasra Salimi. And by Kasra Salimi, I mean Kasra Writes, because I changed it and I just forgot. So it's KASRA Writes, WRITES.
Yes. Jillian, where can we find you?
Instagram as well, and it's New Jillian Who Dis.
New Jillian Who Dis. All right, well, we will talk to you guys later. Bye.
Bye.